Welcome to An Aries and Pisces Walk Into a Coffee Shop, the podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Brigitte, she, her.
And I'm Tiffany, she, her. This is a podcast where two friends let go of perfectionism and talk unedited.
The countdown.
Your eyeballs.
Hello.
Yeah.
I saved this thing on Pinterest. I don't know if I sent it to you. I think it was from Pinterest, but it is alternatives to asking how are you? Did I send that to you?
I don't think so, but you might have, and I just might have missed the notification because I'm notorious for that.
I don't know if I did. I saved it to my Notion, which was good for me to reference.
Yep.
But I thought that was really interesting because I historically hate that question, how are you? Because I feel like there's just so much there, right?
Yes, there's a lot there, and I always feel like the polite thing to do is to come up with a nice packed answer.
Yes.
That is digestible, and then I feel like a liar.
Yes. That's...
And then I feel guilty for being a liar. So I can't win either way.
Yeah. Same. So this is, I'm looking at it now, but maybe I'll read some to you. The first one I think is so sweet. It just says, "It's good to hear your voice."
Oh, that is sweet. Yeah, I like that.
I think that's sweet. I think that also I got this other one from somebody else that I've been saying for a while, but just saying, "It's good to see you."
Mm-hmm. Yes, just stating some facts at someone's face. Instead of this weird social dance of, asking how someone is. I mean, unless you're ready to hear the answer, which I normally go for a more intentional wording where I ask someone, like, how is your heart? If I really actually want to know what's going on with them. But I think that's because I know the panic that I feel when someone says, how are you doing? And I'm like, okay, calculating. And I hate math. So it's just math symbols and I'm panicking. And I don't know how to answer this. And then, that reminds me of an actual meme. Something about Midwesterners and being like, if Midwesterners answer in these ways, it means that. And it's like a translation. And one of them was just like, well, it's going, or I'm upright. It's like, oh no.
Yes, it's going. That's definitely in the rotation. It's going. I'm trying to think. I've seen that. Trying to think of what the other ones were that really hit me. It's going.
The translations were really hilarious because it's just and I don't remember what the correlation between which phrases was, but one of them was just call for help, this person's not okay, and it's such an innocuous phrase that they answered with, but it's the Midwestern siren call for help.
Is it I'm alive? That's definitely one.
So. Yeah,
that's definitely
yeah, I'm alive. But this person isn't okay.
Not okay. Not okay. Oh geez. So these other ones, I like this one. What's the vibe today?
Ooh.
I can hear Ingrid down there.
Do you hear Ingrid?
Yeah, what's she doing?
So she got frisky because I was ignoring her, so now she's directly behind the laptop on her cat tower, on her back on the platform with all four paws stuck to the thistle rope.
Nice. I hear her little jingle.
And I look over at her, she's just crazy eyes, whiskers all forward, staring at me.
That's the vibe today.
Yeah, that's the vibe. Oh, but then she got distracted by a bird, so I'm out of the depth.
Same. It happens to the best of us. That's okay. I like that. I like that vibe for today.
Yeah, she's been really good at that lately. Just, ooh, cozy, making the biscuits, stomping the grapes, and then it's just pandemonium, haunting, possession, murder. It's really intense.
I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like me lately.
Okay, so maybe it's just something in the air. Maybe it's a collective vibe, and it has, not a whole lot to do with us personally. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel better or worse?
Uh,
Or is it
well,
neutral?
earlier today, I was just thinking. I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, is it just like, is it Aries season? Is that what it is? Is it like the springing forth, but also things are still kind of like chill because it's not like time yet, you
Mhm.
know, like, but like things are happening. So I don't know. It feels like a lot of things are just being stirred up. And like 1 minute, I'm like, all right, I'm chilling. I'm just like resting because I'm tired as hell. But then another minute, I'm like on fire, like just like fired up about something.
Is
So I'm
that
just,
definitely Aries season?
I'm like cycling through those.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm continuing to collect Aries, just as a heads up.
To
Although,
collect the, like,
yeah, I have a collection of Aries.
I
Did you
love,
realize you're part of a collection
I
of Aries
didn't,
people?
I didn't realize that, that it was a collection, but I love this more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, over the span of my life, throughout my 20s into now, I just attract Aries sun folks, and I didn't put the pieces together for a while, but it was really when I was at the EO's Belly Dance Yoga Studio that I was like, wait, all these people have like Aries going on, and it's usually Aries femmes. I have a couple of um mask Aries and a non-binary Aries, but most of them are femmes, and like my inner circles are like people that are super influential in a time of my life that maybe we don't talk all the time still, but I consider them like my in-group people, like really important. And I've continued that trend now that I live Chicagoland area, where a couple of the people that I really have connected with in the burlesque community also Aries, and they know it. And it's been a delight because as soon as Aries season hits, like all the memes and all of the like weird little videos, and it's just like it's Aries season vibes, and it's just like I feel really welcomed, cozy next to the fire. It's good. But
Ah,
that whole like up and down cycling thing feels really true to one of the people that I've gotten to know here. All the posts are just very. I don't. I was gonna say chaotic, and I think I'm gonna lean in and say they're chaotic, where it's just like the cycle is real intense, and I think that fits for the whole spring vibe because, like you said, it's like we're springing forward, but there's like it's liminal space.
mm-hmm,
There's nothing set. Things are just happening without any
mm-hmm.
real certainty. And then I think it was last time we were talking about like that gardening metaphor and planting the seed and the bursting open to
Yeah.
sprout forth. And I'm like, if that's not chaotic, I don't know what is. Like that feels like a lot. And I've been feeling that as well. And for me, I think when it's collective, for some reason, it makes it feel better because, oh, that's what it is. Because it makes me feel like, because I have like the train of thought tape in my head that says, maybe you need to fix this. Maybe it's you. Something's
Mm,
wrong with you. And then when I'm like, oh, this is collective, I'm like, oh, I'm just a human having a
yeah.
human experience with other humans, and it's not me. I don't necessarily need to fix anything. I just have to get through
Yes.
it.
Yes. That is super helpful. I think that's can that also be like categorized as the like terminal uniqueness thing? I think I've
Ooh.
like talked about that in therapy. but yeah, just feeling like, oh, this is just happening to me. And like, yeah, this is what's wrong with me. Like, but then you realize like, oh my God, this is just a human fucking experience. That's it. Like, I'm just doing normal human things because I'm a human and this is a part of it.
Yes, sometimes unfortunately, sometimes fortunately, but I think that terminal uniqueness makes sense because, and I don't know if this resonates with you, but I think for me, so that's why it's like, it's almost a both and. I think it does feel better when I realize it's collective because it does kind of relieve some pressure off of me personally. But also, well, one, it sucks that everyone is going through that because it can be painful. Also, can be cool. I mean, there's a flip side. There's can be collective stuff where it's like, wow, everyone's like doing great. That's awesome. But most of the time, I notice when it's the opposite of that because human. Where was I going with that? I had a point. I'm going to take a sip of coffee and it'll probably come to me.
Okay.
In 3 minutes. Let's see.
I keep muting my mic because the fucking allergies are real. I keep sniffling and
I can't judge you for that.
oh God. There's inevitably going to be a time where I don't unmute my mic or, you know.
Spring. It's happening.
It is happening. It's happening to us. It's happening for us.
Oh, it did come back to me. Less than 3 minutes. This idea of control.
Oh.
If I could just control me and change me, and this can go away, it's like, that's not the case. That's not life. But there is a reflex that's built in that nitpicks me because it feels like a false sense of control.
Mm-hmm. My affirmation for the week that I just chose this morning was, I release control and allow in ease.
Here we are. Ease. That's been my phrase for a while. And actually, I mean, it comes back around and around. Like, ease is one of the things that I've been working on for literal years. I think it's just probably going to be a forever thing. But it came back to me in a big way during a really nice guided meditation by one of my burlesque instructors. Like, we were having a nice breathing exercise. I was struggling with a lot. And it was so nice. And they asked us to like kind of invite in a phrase and like breathe in that phrase or that word or that intention, and then like breathe out whatever you want to like let go of. And I just ended up breathing in and out like the whole idea of like, I can do things with ease. I don't have to struggle or strive or fight for. I can just soften and ease. So that has been something that's come up in a couple of different ways over the last couple of weeks. So it's nice that you're kind of on that same wavelength, but I haven't really put in the control part because I still want to think I have it.
Yes, I would still like to control everything, please, and make it easy. Let's have all of that. Yeah. I'm really finding out that it is a lot of letting go of control.
And it's confusing because on another hand, it's been empowering to realize the things I can control. Because me and my mother, speaking of collective energies, ended up doing the exact same thing on the exact same week, which is we just kind of lost ourselves in a project and just ended up cleaning for days on end, which I haven't done in, I'm embarrassed to say how long. It's been a time over here. And then I just had a tipping point and I started doing stuff. And I mean, don't get me wrong, some of it was neurodivergent cleaning where I was just like, and all of this stuff is going to go into this box. And that box is going to go into the closet. But a lot of it was actual cleaning. Literally wiping down things and finding homes for stuff and So, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to my mom like a couple of days later, and she's like, yeah, so I had some vacation days I needed to use before they expire because capitalism. And she's like, and I got all this stuff done and started like listing all the things that she had like cleaned and like organized in the house. And I was just like, oh, me too. Like, she's a Virgo sun, I'm a Virgo moon. I feel like we had some stuff to work out, and both of us have been feeling really out of control lately. And so I'm just like, I see you. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to live in this. I can just wipe it down. Organize a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of other things I can't control.
Yeah. I often, I was gonna say like this is my big ongoing problem, struggle in my brain of feeling out of control. And so my brain latches on to the first thing it can see as a thing to like fix or solve or do, or so I can feel like I have like a sense of control. And usually it comes in the form of, oh, like this thing needs to be cleaned, or like this thing, like things around the house like that. Um, so I have been fighting a lot with those lately, but lately for like a prolonged lately.
Isn't it interesting how the same thing can have like a different texture?
Mm.
Like for me, I did feel, and maybe I'm misreading, so tell me if I'm wrong, but what I heard you say was something along the lines of, because you can't control certain things, you end up like hyper fixating on something to fix. And I'm going to suspect the feeling isn't good.
No, yeah.
Like, even if that thing gets fixed,
yeah,
it's not like that was a lovely experience to have, because it's just going to be a next thing that you have to hyper fixate on. And if you can't fix it, well then.
Yeah, this is my whole
meaning into this minor thing, so it can really blow up in a bigger way than it needs to. Which is almost the same thing that I did. Like, I was just like, I can't control a lot of things, but I can clean this house. But for me, I think it didn't feel so much as a hyperfixation, though it did feel very focused. Like, I kind of got, like I said, like I lost time to it. I couldn't believe how long I spent on certain things. But it offered like a big sense of relief. And I think part of it, that's why. So I've been practicing this thing around the house where, and it's cheesy as fuck, so forgive me, but when there's little things that normally are hard for me to do, the example of like wiping down the table before I eat. Like, I have the thought, or sometimes I'll even say it out loud. I was like, I deserve a clean table, or like, I love myself, so I'm cleaning this table. Like, I deserve that, or I like myself, so I'm going to blah 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 for me. And I do it with a couple of like habits around the house. And so when I got it in my head that like I needed to clean up my place to feel better, the thought that came to mind was like, I deserve to live in a house that feels good. I deserve to look around and feel at peace here. And so I'm going to give myself this clean, tidied place to lean into. And so after it was all said and done, there was still a lot of things I couldn't control, but I like looked around and I'm like, yeah, this feels good. And then I laid around most of Sunday.
Yeah.
I just laid in my clean home.
I love that. Is it the intention, do you think? It sounds to me like the intention, because like for my thing, I'm not like intending to clean this thing because I love myself. I am like, alert, 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 you must do this or else you can't be okay. And yours sounded very much like, oh, I'm going to intend to take care of myself by doing this thing. And then like, and then I'm going to celebrate.
Yeah, practicing it in tiny ways that then when it became this bigger thing, it was easier to access because I have been conditioning my brain for weeks on end to be like, I'm doing this annoying thing, this mundane nonsense, because I like me and because I should be taken care of and I can take care of myself. Like all of those like thoughts of like, I can't take care of myself, I'm not capable. It's like these tiny little things that I've been trying to practice. And I think then when I realized, oh, and part of it was like confronting shame, because I was like ashamed that I had let the house get so out of control. And then I was like, yeah, you can keep beating yourself up for that. That's draining. And that's why you can't lift your arms to wipe that down, because you're tired. And so it was just like a little perfect storm of a bunch of different things. I think it was that, and then it just came at a really good time too. There's a belly dance teacher, Amy Sigil. You know Amy Sigil that did ITS?
The name sounds familiar.
I thought you might have come across it through EOS and whatnot. But Amy just celebrated 19 years of ITS, the format that she created. And so she had like an online ITS party day where she was on Zoom for like 7-ish hours, just doing a bunch of different programming, like flow classes and talks and Q&As. And she had like one of her teachers come on, 2 of her teachers come on, one to do just like a chat, another to do a class. And like there was like games and just an all-day celebration of like all things ITS with like little breaks in between. And I logged on for the flow class at the beginning of the day. And then I just had the thought where I was just like, I don't necessarily have to be on camera the whole time for this. And like, I don't have the energy to do all of the things. I'm just going to stay on. So like, I just had my little earbuds and like, I did the flow class, and then there was like the scheduled structure for all of Saturday. So I was just like, okay, 10 minutes and I'm going to do this. And then like come back and like have a snack and listen to Amy talk. And then I'm going to, while listening to Amy talk, do this. And so like, what's the body doubling?
Yes.
Is an ADHD friend gave me. Of
Yeah.
Like, you need another human or presence there to like get your brain to like do the thing. And so I was just like, I didn't think of it that way at the time, but after it was all said and done, I couldn't believe how much I'd gotten done. And I was just like, oh, body doubling. Like they didn't know they were doing that for me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just Amy, like she was there in her studio with like a group of people. And like I said, people were coming in and out and like having different like discussions and questions. But like, because there was this like rhythm that they set and I was there for the whole thing. And then I had breaks, like scheduled like 10-minute breaks of like, oh, now I can have a snack, or like, oh, now it's like dance time and I can like take a break from this and just kind of play around with dance. And that was just like a little perfect storm to finally get me out of my winter depression. Because like, yeah, a lot of stuff needed to happen with this house that hadn't been really easy for me to get around to.
I love that so much. And I literally just this morning read an email about body doubling. Like it was
Really?
like, yes. I'm like, of course.
Explore this more.
Of course, it makes so much sense. I was thinking about this, makes me think about it. I was on a hangout kind of Zoom call at one point. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I took that time to go around and like water all my plants. And I would just like take my computer with me to the different rooms. And I was like, I felt like I had so much time to like, I was wiping plants down, like fully like dusting them. And they looked beautiful. And I felt so amazing. And I was like, I literally can't do this just on like a regular basis. Like, and yeah, then that like the beating myself up comes into it. But yeah, it's so much. Oh, I love just like having a body double. I love that so much. I love the concept of it. I will say that I probably would like to figure out how to do it more.
I had a big resistance to it, and I think it has a lot to do with shame.
Mm,
Because it's vulnerable to be
mm-hmm.
like, hey, I need someone so that I can do what I should be able to do, heavy air
Mm,
quotations, on my own, or this is easy for other people, yada yada, all the
yeah.
judgments.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I found that even just, well, like that online Zoom, like they didn't know what they were doing. They were
Uh-huh.
just doing their thing, and I was just kind of like phoned in with them and took advantage of that kind of like wave. But I've done the body doubling, quote unquote, just with someone on the phone, like saying like, I need to get A, B, and C done, and I want to talk to you while I do that.
Hmm.
And just like talked on the phone for a couple of hours with someone and like was able to get that kind of thing done. Which for me is the only reason the body doubling kind of clicked into place, because the idea of having someone physically in my space, very resistant. Did not like
Mm,
that idea because shame. Like I
mm.
didn't want them to see how bad the kitchen had gotten and to have someone standing there. And also like this weirdness of it's like twofold. Like feeling like I was kind of ignoring them by doing something else, but also them witnessing something I was ashamed of.
Mm, mm. Wow.
But being on the phone cuts all of that out
Yeah.
because the person feels paid attention to because all the cues are audio. So they don't need to see me looking at them or like doing stuff because that doesn't matter as long as I'm verbally cluing in that, yeah, I'm here and paying attention and talking to you.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to feel ashamed that they can see how gross something or untidy something had gotten.
I think that this is so interesting to think about because um, for me, the thought of being on a phone call with somebody for any length of time gives me just gigantic anxiety. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be able to do anything else besides like be on the phone, like clutching the phone. Like,
I used to be like that.
so I feel like I would rather have a person either with me or like if I'm talking to somebody, I really want to see you. There's like something about that that brings me a lot of, I guess it makes me feel more safe
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Like I have a lot of anxiety around hearing, and if I can't see a
Oh,
person talking, um, that it makes it feel harder for me. What I don't know if it I don't know that I actually have a problem hearing, but it just feels like I do, if that makes sense.
it does. Because hearing isn't just a physical thing. Like it's you have to hear the sounds, and then your brain has to interpret and make meaning out of the sounds. And I know that when I've been anxious, mm, that doesn't work. Like someone will say something, and like, and this is like the panic feeling where I'm like, I know that I should know what those sounds mean, but my brain will not like interpret what just happened. And then I've gotten better at asking people to repeat themselves, but I used to do the I'm fine, this is fine, everything's fine thing,
Hmm.
where I would just like nod, smile, and and like have no idea what people
And then
actually
it's
said.
and then it's more panic because you
Mm-hmm.
really don't know. Yeah.
And I used to have a ton of phone anxiety, and I still have it, but it's better with certain people, and I'm getting better at it generally. It was really just like a couple of closer friends that they really loved being on the phone, and
Hmm.
that helped me like learn how to be on the phone.
Okay.
And then I used to do the same thing, the clutching, and like, well, I'm just frozen. Like I literally was frozen. Like it, like even like standing up and like stretching my body while on the phone seemed impossible. I had to like sit and pay attention
Yeah.
to whatever was happening on the phone. And I'm not exactly sure how I broke myself of that habit, other than maybe just a little bit of practice where I did it often enough with people that were good on the phone that it helped
Hmm.
me like kind of ride their rhythm on the phone. And then I got more at ease the more I practiced. And so then I was able to like move around more. And then like the only time I spend that much time on the phone in one go is with people I'm really comfortable with. Yeah. And then that's not all the time. It's, you know, which normally means that we have a lot to catch up on. Like I haven't talked to this person in an extended like back and forth for a long time. So like 2 hours passes like that because there was just so much to catch up on. At least that's been my experience so far. But most of the time I just do voice messages, and that's really low stakes because I just drop it out into the ether until and then like, but I've done like a body doubling thing. Like if someone leaves me a long message, like I have friends that will talk for like a voice message or a video message for like 20 minutes, half hour. I'll use that as a body double where I'm like, oh, I have a long message. I can like do A, B, and C while I listen.
Wow. I'm trying to think of like, I'm like, okay, if I get an audio message, like a voice message, that is like, I can't imagine listening to a 20-minute one. I don't know what I would be. I would have to sit there and just sit there and listen and try to like figure it out. But this
and trying to figure it out means what?
To like pay attention and then to like remember everything. I would probably have to take notes.
Because you're already thinking of the response.
Yes. And that's where like I like
doing that.
I like to like talk.
I think I have to re-listen a lot. I do have to re-listen if I'm going to respond. But
I just feel like I have so many things come up like during it that I'm like, oh, well, I would want to like say this back or respond in this way. And yeah, but I'm also thinking of like, because we send each other Marco Polos, which is a video message. And most of the time when I listen back to your messages, that's all I'm doing is just like listening back to it. But like sometimes I could do it when I'm like doing other things, like maybe like if I was getting ready in the morning or like when I'm like having lunch or something like that. But I am finding out more and more that I am not a multitasker, which is wild because I had gone through so much of my life being like, I'm a really excellent multitasker. Like that would be in all my like fucking cover letters and resume shit. Like, and now I'm like, no, I'm like a single tasker. Like if I really want to like pay attention, like I got to put everything else aside. Except for some things like watching a message and eating lunch. Like I could do that at the same time. But yeah.
Interesting. I just had that thought, I think it was last week, where I was also wondering if I was good at multitasking or not. Because I was at work, and I think that I am good at multitasking if it's something I'm interested in. So like, I was juggling a lot over the weekend between the Zoom call and all this tidying and organizing, and it felt good. It felt energizing. Like they were kind of like feedback looping each other. But then I was sitting at work and I was on hold for a very long time to talk to someone about an issue. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm on hold. Like literally nothing is happening in this phone situation. I should be doing something on my computer while I wait, while I'm on hold to like keep being productive. And then I just sat there frozen where I was like, my brain literally does not want to do that. I'm on hold. I want to be prepared for when I answer the phone and I have to discuss this issue. Like, that's what I want to focus on. But the problem is I don't know how long I'm going to be on hold. This could be an hour easily.
Mm-hmm.
It has been in the past. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, start clicking. Like, I was like willing my body to like start doing something else on the computer while I waited. And I did start clicking, but I was like, it's like I've never read before. Like, you are on a phone call. That's what you're doing. Stop trying to do something else. And then I was just like, am I good at multitasking? I don't think I am. I don't want to.
Yeah. That's totally a thing though. I have that exact thing. If I'm on hold, I literally can't do anything else.
In the past, I have figured out a way to do it because a lot of times in my job I needed to. But I think I was just so tired and overwhelmed that day and frustrated that my brain was just like, no. And then that's when the thought popped up where I'm like, am I good at multitasking, or did I just feel like I had to like get by in all the things? Because is it productivity stuff? Like, oh yeah,
I think so. That and the urgency and I just started listening to Rest is Resistance. And of course she talks a lot about that. But yeah, I think that's what it all is. It's all about, turning humans into machines and pumping out productivity. I don't think we're supposed to multitask.
No, I think you're right. Because the idea is you don't get to rest.
Yeah.
So like, even if and that's like, I mean, coming from like a retail and also having worked like in restaurant environments, like that's literally drilled into you. Like, you got nothing to do? Well, joke's on you. There's always something to do. So find it.
If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Go fuck yourselves. Get wrecked.
Yeah.
Oh God, we were at a restaurant the other week and this lady was telling these poor young kids that are like waiting these tables that what was she shouting? No empty hands. She just kept like saying that to them and I was like, you poor kid. Like, it was it made me nuts. I wanted to tell everybody just fucking chill. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters.
The false sense of urgency is a big piece of it that I've been, and I think you're right. It's all related. Like, this false sense of urgency is related to the productivity, related to the you don't get to be a human that needs rest or decompression. Like, it's just, if you have time to lean, you have time to do something else, and it's just like, maybe we need and have breakdowns.
Yeah. Maybe the resting is actually beneficial and productive.
Yeah, that's what I was telling myself a lot yesterday, because I did lay down quite a bit in my clean apartment and had the anxiety rise, like in my chest and my throat, and I'm like, oh, it's there again. Like, if you have time to lay down, you could be organizing that box over there that you just dumped a bunch of stuff into yesterday to get it out of your sight. And then I resisted the urge.
Good.
And rested.
Good.
Mostly.
Yeah. You did your best.
Yeah, I'm learning and practicing.
Yeah. That also makes me think of the one phrase that we used to say in college, which was, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Oh, yeah. That one was said.
What the fuck? Now I'm like, nope, I will sleep at the allotted time. I'll be in bed for the allotted amount of time.
To sleep.
The sleeping is, that's hit or miss, but you bet I will be in bed for the amount of time.
Yeah, so even if it's not sleep, it's a different kind of rest.
Yeah. Lately I have been saying that, so we're not asking, how did you sleep? We're not asking that because, I've been like switching what I've been saying to, I'm sleeping. I slept and I woke up a lot. So like both of the things are true, instead of just being like, oh, well, like I woke up a lot and I was tossing and turning and all blah, 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 blah. Well, I also slept. Like, I did that too. Go me.
Oh, I like this reframing. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's still really hard because of the times that I'm not asleep, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. I'm trying to clutch onto that.
Yes, I also have that. It's also confusing when I've had the question asked, oh, like, did you get enough sleep, or, do you feel rested? And I'm just like, or the dreaded, how much did you sleep? Because I'm just like, I literally can't tell you because I have a rule now. I can't look at the clock at certain times. And because I'll fixate and ruminate and get real stressed out about, oh no, another hour went by. And so, like, while I was in bed for an extended amount.
Yeah.
Now, how much I slept in that amount? Couldn't tell you. And then, like, it's been rudely suggested that I should get one of those watches that tells me. And I'm like, I don't want to know.
No, that doesn't.
Because if I find out it's not the way that I thought it was going to go, I don't know what. I don't know. I don't want to have that on my shoulders.
I'll tell you that I had one of those watches and I did that. I did the whole thing. It didn't give me any useful data.
Yeah, I think I would just be stressed out when it wasn't great and then be like, well, then why am I so tired if it was good?
Yeah, I think
both experiences.
Yeah. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not.
Thank you for this other personal anecdote, because a lot of people have said that to me when I've like.
What's it gonna tell?
Sleep stuff.
What's it gonna tell you? It's gonna be like you were in this level of sleep at this time, and then you cycled through all of it, and then you cycled through all of it, and then that's what you every night. It's not gonna tell you anything that's gonna change how you feel.
Right. And in fact, because my thought is there have definitely been times where I know I slept a lot and I woke up exhausted. Yeah. And I'm just like, well, that sucked. So I get 8 hours and I'm just tired anyway. Cool. Or I've also had the weird experience where, like, I know that I did not get enough sleep. I wasn't in bed at the right time. I toss and turn a lot. I woke up too early. But strangely, for some reason, mid-morning, I got, like, I don't know, maybe it's just exhaustion high. I'm not sure. But I'm like, almost euphoria, where I'm just like, I don't know, I feel great. Like, I can do stuff. Like, and I just, like, go throughout my day, like, kind of feeling energized. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think I will propose this, that it's not just the sleep. It's the everything, right?
Exactly.
It's the fucking everything. It's the week, it's the day, it's the phase of the menstrual cycle, it's the phase of the moon, it's the astrology, it's the season, it's what you ate, it's like what you did that day, like it's all of it.
Yes.
You can't just put it on one thing. So I've been sleeping. I've been waking up a lot. I've been sleeping. I've been putting in time in bed, and that's so don't ask me how I slept.
I like this. Oh, I'm trying to think of a different way to approach that then. Well, I guess that's just like the reframing, right? So, like, oh, how was your rest? Fitful. However.
I just say fitful, but say it like that. Like you said fitful like you were delighted. And I was like, that's great. That's great. That's fitful. That's great. That's the end. That's all we needed.
Okay.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to sleeping delightfully, fitfully.
We slept. We did it.